Alright, so alright. So what I'm gonna do is I really don't have a lot of time today, but I did want to make sure that you guys got pretty much just the basic steps down on doing like the curvature of the chain and all that type of stuff. Mainly when you do a chain, it's all of the same steps. You mesh it, bake it first, then put it in an array, and then the curve method. Everything else, don't worry about it. But the steps that we've been taking, you mesh it, you bake it, then you curve it. Okay, that's the steps for every chain that you'll ever do. So with this one, I'm not really gonna get too much into the meshing or the baking part. I'm mainly gonna show you how to put the chain together and curve it up. That's pretty much all I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna just do a basic bead chain or what could be replicated as a pearl. Here we go. So with this one, and I might lag a bit because I got like 6 files baking and I got other stuff going on the computer at the same time, so just bear with me. For this one, it's only 482 verts, which isn't bad. So what I'll do is I'll add a subsurface, and take it to about what 1,000, 7,000. I did 10 of those, that'd be 70. So, alright. So, if you do a tennis, you can do it this way, or you can do a shift with a shift D to duplicate. Okay. So with this one, I'm gonna just do an array, but I'm also duplicate it down so you can see the difference. So with this one, you can pretty much do an array. If you want them to touch a little bit more, you know, the constant offset, bring it in a bit, probably like right there, and then I probably do like 70 of them. That pushes it up to 563,000. Or the second way is, I mean, this takes longer, but Shift D on the X, Shift D on the X, and you just keep going from there. You do it a couple times, but that's mainly how you get the constant array. But you can just do you could just use the array modifier instead. So I probably will lower these down a little bit, only because I don't really think I need that many beads. I'm actually probably going to use this or something too. I actually like this a lot. But so basically how it goes is over here in the create tab, you see the curve portion of this tab. This is how you put or create a curvature. You can use the path, you can use the Bezier curve. For this one, just use the circle. Unless you have a custom curve you need to either put beads or any type of diamond on, you wouldn't use the circle. Everything else is pretty much what you would use to create a custom curve, except for things like NURB circle. So right now we're going to add the circle, bring it to about the middle, make it slightly bigger, but not the same stuff from the top view. You don't want it to be as big as the mesh, so you don't want these two spots of the circle, like here and here, to be all the way on the end of your chain, so on this end or this end. Okay, you go back in front view. You're gonna click your mesh in your modifiers tab, add curve. From curve, you're gonna add, so like here in the box is basically you're assigning the mesh to which curve you want. So if I was to add another curve, which would be this one, and I click my mesh, you'll see more than one curve when you go to assign it. So how will you know which one is the correct curve? Okay, if you select the curve and then you go up here to your properties menu, you can see the different names of the curve. So the first curve is just Bezier curve. The second one is Bezier curve 0.001. The one that you want is the one you just sized up, or the one you just added, depending on what you got going on in your file. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one for now. I'm gonna take my mesh, I'm gonna assign it to this curve, and then you see what it does. Okay, so back here in this area, you see kind of like a double, like too many in one spot. So you just hit the scale and move it until you like how it looks. So right about there is decent for me. Okay, so now your curve is pretty much covered up and you don't know how to select it. So what you'll do is you can go into wireframe mode, which is Z. You're gonna have to zoom in really far, and you're gonna have to really find that fine black line that's in there. Okay. In order to curve your mesh, let me put this in the middle of the grid. Put it here. I could do it again. So again, to find the curve, go to Z mode and find that faint black line that goes all the way through. Okay. Tab. Okay. Make sure that you're in the front view. Select the front middle vert of the curve, which is this one, not these on the side, but this front one. You're gonna pull it down. Oh, look at me. See? That's not the one I'm looking for. I pulled the back one. So you're gonna do the front one. You're gonna pull it down on Z. Okay. Alright, so this is one thing I never told anybody in the last class, and I kind of regret that. Depending on how you're gonna wear this chain also depends on how you're gonna curve it. Okay. So this right here, like the way this one is curved so far, this is just something you would wear. This is not something you put a chain on. This is literally just something to wear, nothing else. The more you curve it, so like when you're wearing a chain and the weight of the pendant pulls down on that middle part of the chain, it kind of comes to a point. Okay, but with Blender, it's not going to be as realistic, so don't like overdo it. And then certain links that you make, you're gonna eventually end up deforming the middle one. So if you got a link and it's directly in the middle instead of there being a space here in the middle, you might have to just kind of, you know, rotate your what is it? It's no. All right. Once I figure out how you do that, I don't even remember how. Okay, so this could be one way to do it, but I don't think this is the way I did it last time. Don't forget, y'all, I'm self-taught. I'm not really like, nobody helped me with this, so I don't know every like technical term for everything, but I'm gonna try to center it up to the middle. Alright, so from this side, you want to do it. Right, so the next part of it is the neck portion. So by the back portion of the neck, I will bring this back some. You want to create that. Don't forget, make sure it's the middle vert. Pull it back. Pull it down a little bit more. Then take this back point. Bring it in. Pull it down. Probably don't pull it down. Bring it up some. Okay. Alright, so this is just like a pair of pearls you could just wear, or a beaded necklace, or whatever. It could be any color you want. So from here, if you're trying to make a chain to put a pendant on, you want to bring it in some to make that, create that point. So whatever you do on the left, you need to do on the right. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it like right here. Okay, I'm gonna pull the middle down a little bit more. I'm gonna take the middle point on the side, bring it in. Just a bit. Just a bit, okay. And then pretty much that's like your necklace, but I mean it's all about the preference of how you like it. When you wanna edit or curve in a different way, do not like tab edit the mesh portion. Only tab edit the curve. Okay? Because if you do this then you try to do all this other stuff, it's not going to work. You really only be meshing or editing the mesh itself and not the curve. So I gotta find the curve again. Should be like right up in here. Yeah. Now I don't kind of like how this looks, so I'm gonna probably bring it in a little bit more. Yeah, like that. Bring it a little bit more here. You just gotta keep your eye out for like the small details. So if you want to bring it down a little bit more, you can. So look, if you do have like the mesh body kits, it's better to just put the jig body in and then curve it, customly to the jig neck, or depending on who you're making it for. So I usually kind of only use jig because I really don't do like a lot of female stuff. But for when I do have like specifically female items, I will use a female body. But this is mainly just to teach you the curve portion, not really to fully show you how I would curve it around, because I want y'all to like not just learn jewelry but learn certain things about Blender, not really just straight jewelry. So that's pretty much it. And then don't apply your curve, well, not your curve, don't apply your modifiers until you know you are finished. And at this point right now we are not finished unless you're the type of person who wants to add custom locks to the back. That's a whole nother story. So if you do want to add custom locks, I would advise you to keep a space open just so you can slide the lock in. But in this case, we're just gonna close it up. And this, don't forget, like, to close it up is scale. Like I showed you earlier, I'm not trying to move the mesh around the loop and not like up and down. If you hit scale, it does this. I would say you could try, you could, it don't matter really, it really doesn't. Just play around with it a bit, but in order for you to make a chain, this is the curve that you will need to use. So you can do Cubans, tennis, anything. Just try to replicate as many of the links as possible. If you need help creating links, I do not mind helping you. Just hit me up. Right now I'm like extremely busy with store stuff in real life, extremely busy with just life in general, but I'm cleaning my schedule up. I don't really have as many customs left, so if you need help, I don't mind setting aside time to help. But just don't hesitate to ask questions. This is pretty much the end of this video. Good luck.